Guys, if you're feeling bad about yourself, you've met somebody on a holiday romance, trust me, with my two stories I'm about to tell you, you're going to think I'm a psycho.
Peter.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we're going to be speaking about holiday romance. I've been here before twice. Brutal mistakes in my past. Had two foreign girls. Thought I fell in love. Complete idiot. And even brought one back home to Ireland with me. That's right. A Swedish girl. Brought her back to Ireland. I'm here to give you a word of warning. So if you're ever in this situation, well, hopefully I can give you some advice on holiday romances. I've been there twice. I had to learn my real lesson the second time round. Yeah, that's right. Took me 2 fucking times, but anyway. It's tough, it's extreme, and we're just going to talk about as well about first dates and who contacts who. It's a funny conversation the other day I had with somebody, a girl. She went on a great first date with a guy and she was really hoping to meet him. He even said at the end, oh listen, I'm going to tell you what happened about because they have something in common with their careers. So he was like, yeah, I'll keep you updated on that. She was like, oh yeah, great. And nothing. And I was saying, well, why don't you text him? And she said, well, it's usually up to the guy. So anyway, we're going to come to that in a little while too. So before we get into it, would you believe, for fucking God's sake, I'm pissed off now, I have to say, pissed off. I just fucking recorded 40 minutes of a podcast and it ended up deleting itself. Well, actually, no, not deleting itself. What am I saying? I fucking deleted it by mistake. I got to start all over goddamn again. Oh, I'm like, hi, how's it going, everybody? Alright? Oh, Jesus Christ. How you doing? So anyway, hopefully I'm going to be okay on this one, guys. I don't depress you. Fucking idiot. Jesus Christ. I'm telling you. Oh, God. Do you know that feeling when you just delete everything? What an app. It was a complete and utter waste of 40 minutes of your life. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into it, alright? Okay, so where are we going to start today? Holiday romances. Are they good? Are they bad? We're going to go through an article as well after I tell you my stories here on some of the pros and cons. Now, I haven't read the article yet. I've looked at it briefly and we're going to go through it in more detail because I like to keep this fresh. So even for my first podcast, I had a different article and I read through that one for the first one, but I want to go through this one now. Keep it fresh. Alright? I like to keep things raw. Kind of like acting when I did that in LA. Keep things spontaneous because it's truthful in the moment. You know, and let's see what reaction comes up in front around me. Because I don't like to act. I don't like to bullshit anybody. An honest response is an honest response. And, well, Lord, if this is your first time ever listening to me anyway, when I tell you these stories, you're going to know I'm fucking honest. That's for sure. Jesus Christ. I don't know. I wonder about myself sometimes. I swear to God. Jesus. Anyway. Okay. So let's get into it. Holiday romance. So it can be a great thing and it can be a bad thing. Now, when I say a great thing and bad thing, you can get carried away in the moments. You meet a beautiful girl or a beautiful guy. You have a great time with each other. Things are going great. Problem is, with the situation in hand, all of a sudden, you can get wrapped up very, very fast. And I mean fast, like I did. Now, my stories are between, 15, 20 years ago. So, I've learned a lot since then. But still, it's definitely worth mentioning because this could happen to anyone at any age. And I know it's holiday season, right? We're all heading away this summer. So, it's August right now here in Cork, so people could be on holiday right now listening to this. And you might have met somebody and hopefully, hey, if you're getting caught up, hopefully I'm here to help. I do like them, guys, the holiday romances. Hey, listen, if you're single, you want to hook up with somebody, great. You go for it, whether you're man or woman. Fucking go get 'em, tiger. And I can tell you this. Listen, guys, if you're feeling bad about yourself, if you've met somebody on a long holiday romance, hang on. If you've met somebody on a holiday romance trust me, with my 2 stories I'm about to tell you, you're going to think I'm a psycho. But I can tell you, it can happen to anybody out there. So, first one. Me and boys, we went to Thailand. And, let's see, went to Thailand on a 3-week holiday. And we had a great time. And at the end of the 3 weeks, it was, believe it or not, it was the last night. The last night I met this Austrian girl. And we got on great. We went to this place called Koh San Road. And we went to this karaoke bar, chatting to these 2 girls outside, 2 Austrian girls. And all of a sudden, me and one of the girls got really close. We had obviously a good time that night, let's say. And for some reason, we had a bit of chemistry. Definitely, no question about it. We got on really well. And after the night, I was quite disappointed. Now, you see, the thing is for me, and I think this is a good warning for anybody, holiday romance doesn't mean it's about the person. It's about the situation. For me, it was my last night in Thailand. So in the back of my mind, I didn't want the holiday to end. And for some reason, I just went a bit cuckoo. And I think I was latching onto the holiday so much that I latched onto this girl. Subconsciously now. And we kept in touch. She was an air hostess, so she was flying all around the world at the moment. Now, she was still based in Austria, but I went home to Ireland. So we stayed in contact. The next couple of weeks we were on the phone together. Now this is before smartphones, guys, right? So this is a lot harder back in the day. So a lot of texts, a lot of phone calls. Then we met in Austria. Then she came over to Ireland and we had a great time. And eventually we actually started calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. And as crazy as it sounds, we got into this boyfriend-girlfriend scenario. I mean, we only met about 4 or 5 times. So what the fuck was I thinking? What the hell was she thinking too? I mean, it's ridiculous. But again, this is the intensity of a of a holiday romance scenario. Once you start off, because there's only one way you go here, guys. You go down. Right? What I'm trying to say is, when you're on the holiday romance, everything is great. You're around a beautiful place. It can be even romantic. It can be just really relaxing. Whatever it is, you're starting off in a really good spot. I mean, it doesn't really get much better than the holiday romance side of things because it's almost perfect. So the only way you can go is either stay exactly where you are, right? In other words, things are amazing all the time, which never fucking happens, or you go down. And 99% of the time, it's going down. It's as simple as that. So, we were boyfriend-girlfriend this stage. Then eventually, time goes by and you're thinking, fuck, man, what am I going to do here? I don't know, am I going to be able to keep this up? Am I going to fucking cave? So eventually, things weren't getting right with us at all. Relationship kind of, again now, boyfriend-girlfriend, stupid. Relationship was kind of sizzling out. Then of course what happens is desperation kicks in. Because now you're really freaking out because you don't know what they're up to. They don't know what you're up to. And that causes paranoia, fear, that kicks in. And then all of a sudden you're chasing your fucking tail. And then you're texting her, you're wondering why hasn't she texted you back? She's texting you, wondering why you haven't texted her back. People start losing their fucking minds in this scenario. I lost my mind, she lost her mind, and understandably so. Because it's a crazy situation to be in the first place. Because people do lose their goddamn fucking minds, okay? And we kept going. And eventually we met one more time in Dublin. And you could tell things just weren't very, very good here at the moment. You could tell I was latching on, she was latching on, but you could tell she had a question mark as in, is this really worth this? Not that I was going totally psycho on her now, no. But you could tell she was in a better place than I was, right? She knew that, you know, she had a bit more head on her shoulders, I have to admit now. At that stage, she was thinking, oh, this ain't good. So we spent about 4 or 5 nights in Dublin. She went back, and then about 2 or 3 weeks later, things got really bad. Couldn't really get her on the phone, get her texting. We're still a boyfriend and girlfriend at this stage, and then eventually, I went off with someone else. Then I told her, because I couldn't keep it back. Then she told me about 3 weeks later, she was with someone else. So I mean, talk about a fucking holiday romance gone to shit. Like, total waste. So of course, I'm fucking devastated. She's devastated because we both have done it to each other. Then she pulls the plug, which was a great thing, to be honest. It was a great thing. I was latching on for nothing. I really was. Because it's long distance. I met the girl 4 or 5 fucking times, ever. And she's my girlfriend. I mean, give me a break. So, it's extreme situations, guys. She dumped me. And that was great, because actually I was holding on for dear life, but there was that voice in my head saying, hang on, don't give up. And then there was huge relief when she dumped me. I have to say, it was really sad and gutted, but huge relief. And it didn't take me fucking long to get over it. Not at all. It took me about 2 or 3 weeks and I was back into normal life. Pure relief. And that was it. And problem was, guys, you're going into an extreme fucking scenario. You know? Now, here's the thing. That was 15 years ago. No, sorry, that was 20 years ago. My God, my timeline here is way off. It was 20 years ago, guys. And funnily enough, believe it or not, I met her last year for the first time in 20 years. We stayed in contact on Facebook, you know, a text message here and there in the last 20 years. She got married, she had a couple of kids, that was grand, it never bothered me. But we, you know, we kind of stayed in contact anyway, you know, because I think the nice thing about that was that at least the two of us knew that we were in a stupid ass fucking situation. We were both idiots, right? So we didn't actually blame each other at the end of the day. You know, we knew we were under huge pressure. So at the end of the day, it wasn't, you know, hey, fuck you, Austrian girl, you fucked me over, or fuck you, Peter, you fucked me over. We just knew it was, look, no wonder she went off with someone else. No wonder he went off with someone else. You know what I mean? And so we never held that against each other, ever. And it was a great, you know, at least it was that kind of healthiness at the end. She came over to Ireland last year for, what was it? Now, she came over with a couple of friends. Now, so like I didn't necessarily agree to it, but she was saying that she's going to come over with some friends. I did say to her before when I was drunk, I was like, hey, you should come over, and that was cool. But then she said, yeah, I'm going to come over. And then I kind of went, oh fuck, because now it's real. It was like, holy shit, I was panicking. And but then she came over with a couple of friends. She came over, we met up one night. She was with her 2 other friends. We hooked up that night. Had a great night. And, you know, it was kind of a bit like old times a bit. It was. But without the stupidness. We knew that, hey, listen, we're going our separate ways after this. We learnt a hard lesson, okay, which was a good thing. But she did come back then, but at least she had no pressure in this scenario, because if things didn't work out the night we met, she could have just headed off with her friends for the rest of the holiday. So, you know, there wasn't that pressure, and it was great. And we knew that. But we did get on. She came back for one more night in Cork, had a great time, and then she went back to Austria. We've been texting ever since, here and there. Everything's all cool, but can be sure as fuck of this. She'll never move to Ireland to be with me. I'll never move to Austria to be with her. It was a great time. We might see each other again. So, hey, there was a tiny little bit of a happy ending out of a ridiculous scenario that we got ourselves in. So guys, I'm not here to recommend that you do this holiday romance, okay? If you do, it's very extreme. If you're going to get into this, I would just go in with eyes in the back of your head, and learn from me if you can, right? I wouldn't be exchanging phone numbers at the end, emails, social media. I would try and, if it's keep a clean break, keep a clean break. Now, that was the Austrian girl. Now let me tell you about the Swedish girl, because this is fucked up. So, myself and the Swedish girl. So again, now look, that's the whole Austrian scenario here, alright? Now we're going to go back another 18 years here. So I was with the Austrian girl 20 years ago, when I met her the first time. And then we had all that incident, we broke up, grand. Okay. 2 years later, after that, what does Peter do? Make another fucking stupid ass mistake. Right? I mean, ridiculous. And what did I do? Went off to Thailand again 2 years later after this whole holiday romance with the Austrian. Another 3-week holiday there in Thailand. Did the same thing with a different group of guys this time though. Met up with this Swedish girl about 4 days till the end. Had a great time. She was gorgeous. We spent literally 3 or 4 days together. At the end, she was traveling on her own. She was in a bit of a bad place. God love her. I mean, it was a horrendous situation for her. Both her parents died of cancer within a year at the time. And like this girl, she was young. I was young. And she was in a vulnerable place. And obviously I was in a stupid ass place myself. So we spent the last 3 or 4 days together, kissing on the beach, hugging, all this, like a true couple. And she was gorgeous, beautiful skin, Swedish, oh, the works, everything. So then she's going on to Australia, I'm going back to Ireland. So, I'm in fucking tears at the end of the holiday. Obviously because I'm leaving her, plus it was the greatest holiday I've ever had in my life. It was a combination of both now, it wasn't just her, but it was both. So we stayed in contact, texting, calling. She went on to Australia. Then we talked more and more on the phone. You could tell that she was missing home. She was a bit lost. She didn't know where she was going in life. She didn't know what to do. She even lived in London and worked in a hotel for a couple of years. So she was even thinking about coming back there. So we spoke about her coming back. Eventually, she came back to Ireland. And where do we go from here? She came back to Ireland. She moved in with me for a little while. And believe you me, what an idiot of a mistake. I mean, talk about going from bad to worse. You think I would have learnt my lesson after the Austrian girl, but no. Dipshit here decides, nah, fuck it, let's go even further, right? Fucking asshole I am. So anyway, she moves in. Then things are getting very pressurized. I mean, it was like having a pet, a dog, or a baby. I'm not comparing her to that, but you know what I mean. She'd no friends here, no family, nothing. She was hoping that I could be her family because she was in a vulnerable place. And a lot of pressure. Then she got her own place, hoping that I'd be there with her. And she did some courses here, trying to make new friends. She met a couple of people, yeah, it was great. And that lasted about 3 months. And, every night I was going out, I had to make sure she was going to be with me. She obviously wanted to be with me. And, of course, being the stupid asshole that I was back in the day, I didn't want her around all the time. I wanted to be out with the lads. So I wanted everything in both ends, but then I didn't want the whole thing either. I mean, what total asshole. So I know I'm being very hard on myself here. It's bringing it all back up though, I have to say. So, we're having problems, as you can imagine. Huge pressure. She's wondering, am I ever going to be around? I'm around, yes, but then I'd leave. Like, I'd call over to her house, hang out, and then I'd go home. I would rarely spend the night with her, which, why wouldn't I? It's my girlfriend at the time. I mean, we were basically boyfriend-girlfriend when she moved here to Ireland. And it must have lasted about another 2 months. Up and down fights, all the time. Then her sister came over one night and we had a huge fight. Me and the girl now, not her sister. And that was it. It was all over that stage. It was a crazy scenario. Absolutely fucking crazy scenario. It was lunatic shit. And that was that. So that's my Swedish ex, pretty much. But the point is this, guys. With the long distance relationships, it just doesn't fucking work. It just doesn't. And I would say this to anybody that's looking at a long distance holiday romance. I keep saying long distance. But with holiday romances, they're very strenuous. They're very stressful. They're very, very intense. You'll have some good moments, but you'll have some bad moments. But the problem is that if you are having some good moments, it's only reminding you of when you met them first. Because right out the gates, you're in an amazing place with that person right there and then. You've had no problems up to now. And the first problem that comes around, all of a sudden, that beautiful Fantasyland romance, that bubble has burst. You are back to fucking reality. And the other thing I would say is this. When I met the Austrian girl after the holidays and etc, etc, or when I met her after Thailand, let's say, and when I met the Swedish girl after Thailand, it was the exact same girl that I met. It wasn't like Peter was different on holiday, but then when these girls visited me in Ireland or wherever, I was a different person. No, I was the exact fucking same person. And they were the same. These two girls were the exact same people that I met on holiday over in Thailand and back home here in Europe. This was the key. The key was that it was a different scenario. It is amazing the way an experience or scenario can change everything. And I honestly, I would look back to this day and I would say that those girls, they were the exact same girl. I was the exact same person. They just saw me and I saw them in a different light because you weren't on a fucking romantic beach. You weren't having a beautiful dinner in a Thai restaurant. You weren't this, you weren't that. Okay? It's amazing the way the intensity and the extreme intensity, I could say, carries you away with the moment. It really, truly does. And I'm not saying here, guys, don't go in for a holiday romance because look at me, hey, Jesus Christ. I mean, I definitely, if you're single, you want to hook up, go for it. If you want a holiday romance, go for it. But I would say this, try and learn from me or try and keep your head on your shoulders that it ain't gonna get any better when you come home. I can tell you that for a fact. The only place you're gonna go is down. Now, let's say you do have a holiday romance afterwards, okay? And obviously it turns into a bit of a long distance thing because, you know, they're not around you and whatever, right? And you visit each other. Let's say when you met each other on holiday, it's 10 out of 10. I mean, every box you tick, it's unbelievable. Now let's say you meet after the holiday. And let's say when you do, it is 10 out of 10. So it stays exactly where it is. It ain't going to get any better. So it's going to stay at 10 out of 10. Okay? Now, let's say, and by the way, this never happens that it's going to be 10 out of 10 afterwards. And this is from my experience. Let's say you do meet again, right? And it's 10 out of 10 for the first time. Let's say it is. Now, I mean, I'm just throwing a miracle here, Hail Mary for you here. It's a 10 out of 10 the second, third, fourth time. The fifth fucking time you'll meet, and it's never going to get to a fifth time, it'll be an 8 or a 7. Because there's only one way it's going to go, guys, is fucking down. Because you haven't built a relationship on trust, on friendship. You've built it off a fucking holiday you had. So go in for the kill. Hey, Even fucking visit them. You know, like the Austrian did 20 years later. But I mean, it took 20 years. I mean, visit them afterwards. Absolutely. But the extreme intensity can so easily catch up with you on a holiday romance, and you'll bring that home. And try and be self-aware of this. If you do get caught up, ask yourself this question. Maybe you're lonely at home. Maybe you're looking for excitement, okay? And the holiday brings excitement. So it's not actually her or him. All right? It's not the Swedish girl or the Austrian girl. It's not Peter. It's the excitement of it. And you then create these emotions based on the excitement. I mean, look at me. The very last night I'm in Thailand, I meet the Austrian girl. Is that a coincidence? I mean, if I met her night one, would I have given a fuck? You know, started an adventure, here we go, this is only night one, so many more nights to go. Would it have been different? Maybe, maybe not. But it's just a weird coincidence that it was the last night. Swedish girl, it was at the end of an unbelievable holiday. Last couple of nights, 3 or 4 nights. I don't think that's a coincidence either. I really don't. Now, I still saw the Austrian girl. We had a fucking great time, right? But again, it's that last little bit, the last little bit of latching on to something. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you're not going to be attracted to them. You'll still be attracted to them, and oh my god, yeah, you might have great sex and everything, but latching on to that, oh, I want more after this, I want more after this. Try and be self-aware as best as you can with that, because it will catch up with you. In fact, let's have a look at just this news article here, right? Let's see if they've any insight here. Pros and cons. Now, they do say it improves your self-esteem. Well, I wouldn't think it improves your self-esteem. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, guys, you can see what I'm saying here. But if you're listening on audio, it says, nothing convinces a man of his irresistibility like compliments and attention from the opposite sex. I don't believe that part, because very simply put, you could get that here in your local bar down the road or the local nightclub. So that's not what that is. Okay? Feeling of happiness, going on vacation. Most people leave their worries and problems at home, and it makes them feel really happy. But this feeling can intensify. Here we go. Intensify, what I was just on about. It's intense. Can intensify into 100-fold, like I'm saying, extreme intensity, when you begin to communicate with new people and feel the obvious interest of beautiful girls. No question about that. Right, what else do we have? You met a new experiences and sensations. You met a new person and got a new experience of communication. You can meet again in the future if it's really good to be together. And I do agree with that. Hey, if you get on great with them, get on great. And if you want. Who knows, maybe you can start a relationship built outside carefree holidays. Now look, alright, I wouldn't agree with this. Because look, okay, even if you are unbelievably loaded, you're a fucking millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. Let's say one of you, girl or guy. And you can jump on a plane anytime you want. So let's say you do. Let's say Peter's a millionaire, billionaire, okay? I can jump on a private jet right here, right now. Head over to the Austrian girl, Swedish girl. Okay, great, because I can leave whenever I want and spend how much time with whatever I want. Then what happens? Are you going to get bored? What if Peter's gone over 5 or 6 times, he comes home after the 6th time, and all of a sudden Peter's had a shit week, he's tired, and I gotta jump on a plane to go over to her? Fuck. Are you kidding me? Maybe she's got to keep an eye on the kids this weekend, or maybe she's got to stay around. Maybe she can't make it over to you, but etc. You can pick her up with a private jet, but again, hello, this is private jet shit, right? But let's say you can bring her over, right? Well, are you always going to keep that intensity? Is it going to work? I would say 99% of the time it's not. Because you still have to rely on getting a private jet, if you have one by the way, to pick them up and bring them over. What is a private jet? 30 fucking 50 grand? So you're going to spend 30, 50 grand to pick someone up, bring them over every now and then, or you go over to them, still the fucking same. It's a lot of money, and all of a sudden, these fucking bills add up. Now again, I know I'm going to a ridiculously extreme, but I'm trying to give you the extreme. In other words, it doesn't matter what scenario you put yourself in, no matter what advantage you have with a private jet or God knows all the time in the world, there's going to be a time where you get tired of traveling. The other person's going to get tired of traveling. And that's the best case scenario. So, just try and remember that, guys, you know? Okay, the cons. Whew, well, these are weird. Venereal diseases. Okay, well, no, sorry, this isn't weird, but no one should forget about one's own protection. Well, look, yeah, hey, fair enough, but hey, for God's sake, you could get an STD off anyone around any bar, anywhere in the world. So that doesn't apply from the long distance. That applies for every person you're with. Scammers. Now, okay, I don't know what they mean about the scammers. Experienced scammers always know when they can profit, so very often they go to different resorts. Right, okay, so I see where they're going with this one. In other words, a girl will hook up with you or a guy, long distance, and they're hoping that you'll send money to them every week or every month when you're at home. Okay, well, I've never been in that situation, thank God. So I can't speak very educatedly on that one. So, fair enough. Maybe people do that. Suffering from unrequited feelings. If you are careless and fall in love with your new acquaintance who doesn't reciprocate to you, this can turn into a serious problem for you. No shit, Sherlock. That happened to me. But in addition to suffering with unrequited love, you can drive yourself into a kind of emotional trap. That's exactly what happened to me. That will not let you go any further and establish a serious relationship. Well, yeah, that's exactly what happens. You get into an emotional trap. That's actually good terminology there to explain that one. Emotional fucking trap. Worse, extreme emotional intense trap. That's what I would say here, guys. Excuse me. So, guys, look, in closing about the holiday romance, as great as it can be, I would just not... In fact, this might sound a bit of a weird one, okay? Because, look, on a holiday romance, you don't know the person very well. Of course you don't, right? So if you do want to change numbers or connect with each other on social media, go ahead. If you want to keep the barrier up, though, and you want to just keep this, hey, listen, I'm going to be fucking very careful of this shit here now. I don't get trapped. Try this, and I know this sounds weird. Try not to get their second name. Maybe even fucking tell them. Say, listen, you know what? I don't need to know your second name. You know why? Because I don't want anything after this holiday. And I don't want to be looking you up on fucking social media. That's not a good idea. Even bring that up at the start, which may be not a good idea. Or, if things go to shit and the person goes, hang on a second, Peter, do you know what? You never asked me my second name. Maybe then you gotta come clean. But at least, and I know this sounds like a fucking stupid ass fucking thing to do. But at least, look, if you know their first name, that's fine. But if you don't know their second name, will you be able to find them on social media if you're drunk? You know? Because one thing can lead to another. You connect with the person online, then you're drunk texting, and then you're fucking this and that. Then you're like, oh my god, I really miss her, Jesus Christ. Can we meet up again? You know what I mean? Like, it can, if you really want to keep it clean, don't ask her fucking name. Hell, give a fake name for yourself. I know, I can't believe I'm even saying that, but why not? Give a fake name. What's the fucking problem? But I would be honest and truthful with them if they start saying, hey, can I see you afterwards? No, look, sorry, this is just a 1-10 thing. And you're not doing anything wrong. You're not doing anything fucking wrong by giving them a fake name because you're not promising them anything. If you start promising something with them, well then you're an asshole. But if you don't promise anything, you're just hooking up, right? You're just having the banter. Fucking give a fake name, and I'm sure there's plenty of thousands, millions of people have been doing it for decades and decades, you know? Because the problem here, guys, as we all know, we could get drunk now, text somebody when we're fucking pissed off our heads, and all of a sudden you're chatting away because they missed you, you missed them, and one thing can lead to another, and you're fucking meeting up in a different country, and then guess what? You'll want to meet again. So, I just be very careful of that, guys. Alright? And hey, you know what? If you have a holiday romance, God bless you, God love you, and I hope you do have a great time because hey, I'll go on a holiday, hopefully meet a girl, like a lot of people do. Girl likes to meet a guy, have a bit of fun. Nothing wrong with that. You know? Just, yeah, if you're careful about this, hopefully I'm giving you some 2p of my 2 dumbass stories. It was horrendous, guys. It was... What really got me, we're finishing up now. What really got me was not being able to see them. What were they up to? Because it actually fucks with your head with trust. It doesn't give you any trust. Because all of a sudden, you're sitting there and going, oh, she's staying tonight. Is she? Well, I don't know. Same thing for her. Is Peter really staying in tonight on a Friday night? Yeah, right. Then all of a sudden, that one little tiny doubt turns into a huge shitstorm. Anyway, hope that helps, guys. So, now we're going to talk about dating. Dating. Funny story. So, I was chatting to this girl. I obviously gave you a little bit of an intro, but I'll go through it now. So I was chatting to this girl last week, and she was saying that before that, I know her, and before she went on the date, she was telling me about this guy that, they have the same type of career stuff that they work on together. Even though in different departments and, different workplaces, but it's the same type of career, and it's a bit of a hobby, passion for them too, right? So they have a lot in common to talk about. So she was telling me that she's going on this date with this guy. She's looking forward to it, can't wait to see him. We've got a lot in common. I was like, oh, that sounds great. Go get him, champ. So she goes on the date. She tells me last week anyway, she went on the date. Things were really good. Haven't heard from him. I said, do you not like him or what happened? She's like, no, I really do like him. And she said at the end of the date that after things were going really well, he said, oh, hey, listen, X, I'll, just calling her X, I'll let you know how I get on with that thing. There was some career thing they were talking about. And she was like, oh, yeah, that sounds great. Didn't hear from her. Didn't hear from him. Nothing. So I went, okay. And I said, how long has it been? She goes, about a week and a half. I went, all right, well, did you text him? She goes, oh, no. Jesus Christ. No. I went, well, and she dismissed it very, very quick. And I went, well, hang on a second there, Tiger. What's going on here? What's the problem? Why don't you text him? See what's going on? And she goes, well, you know what now, Peter? If a guy's interested after a first date, he'll contact you. And I have to admit, it made me think. Like, she said, Peter, and this girl's a very smart girl. She said, all right, Peter, when you're on a date, do you know on the date or at the end of the date, even before you leave them, do you know that you want to see them again? And I went, fuck yeah, I do. Before, 100% before the end of the day, before you even leave them, I want to see this girl again. There's no two ways about it. Now, does that mean it's up to the guy? Interesting question. Now, in fairness, I would be more old school fashioned where I would be the guy, if I'm bringing a girl on a date, I'm paying for the drinks or the meal. If she wants to offer, fair enough. That sounds good. No problem. I don't want to be unmannerly to the girl if she wants to chip in. But I would be the man to definitely be heading for my wallet straight away before the check has even got to the table because I want to make sure I'm paying for it, okay? So, it did make me think. Where do we go with this? Should the girl text the guy? Is it a good thing to, even if the guy doesn't text? I mean, I wouldn't give a guy an excuse to say, well, he wasn't sure, to be honest, but like, in fairness, at the end of the day, it's up to men at the end of the day, right? If there's a bit of doubt, the man should fucking go. So you can be thinking I'm giving women excuses here. I'm not trying to give any woman an excuse here that it's all up to the man. If a woman has doubt or it's driving her fucking mental, you should definitely contact the guy. Say, hey, listen, I had a really good time. How's it going? And at least then you know if he doesn't text back. And you can put your mind at fucking ease. You know? Now, in fairness to the girl I was talking to the other day, her mind was very at ease, which was a good thing to see. You know, she wasn't killing herself, just torturing herself. Well, what if I did this or what if I did that? I honestly do reckon that the guy should text after the first date to meet up again. Or, here's what it is. At least start the conversation. Hey, I had a great time last night. How are you today? Haha, a bit hungover myself or whatever. And then the guy should ask out a second time. Now, third time round, I would be saying it's now 50-50 here. The girl can ask the guy out. The girl should probably ask a guy out. Guy can still ask the girl out. Okay, now we're on a 50-50. Now let's say the guy does it the third time. The fourth time round, now it's fucking other way around. If the girl hasn't asked the guy out, there's something fucking wrong here. I'm serious. So I believe the guy should ask first, second, fuck it, go for third. Fourth date, if the girl's not asking the guy out, there's something wrong. And believe me, if any ladies are listening to this, not to the lads, any ladies, if we have to get to that stage of asking you out 4 fucking times, I can tell you this, we're going to start getting doubts in our head. Third time, it'll enter our head, but you're like, no, this is okay, it's okay. We'll accept it. Fourth time on, it's gonna mentally fuck us. Ninja fuck us mentally. And it's gonna cause havoc in our head. So, we'll finish the podcast right here, guys. And you know what? I hope that helps for the holiday romance, for the dating. But you know, I would say this in closing, especially to the ladies here, for about the dating part here. Who asks out who? If you're on a first date, after the first date, if it's torturing you in the head, and he hasn't texted you, just fucking text him. Alright? If he doesn't text back, bang. Job done, mission accomplished, mind at ease. You can sleep well at night. That's what I would say. But generally, he should text you within that night or the next day. He really should. And, you know, do you text that night? Maybe, maybe not. But definitely the guy should be texting you the next day after the first date. So, I'll leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for listening, and I will speak to you again. Bye-bye.
Peter
Walsh.